with courts as they are, and with the judicial system taking away more and more of rights that should be the rights of parents, that to me was one of the reasons why it was important that we make a statement in Louisiana that we value the rights of parents to raise their children.
At the drop of a pin, the state can intervene in the family, basically.
As a part of that application of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, the Swedish authorities rightly came in, took the child. That's the kind of thing that can happen with parents.
Parents should decide what's best for their kids, not the government, and certainly not a foreign entity.
That's what this is about, is people who sincerely believe that our lives would all be better if they got to make the decisions for us.
Concept that it takes a village to raise a child. Certainly the village has its input, but the responsibility is mainly with the family, with the mother and father of those children.
If the Convention on the Rights of the Child becomes implemented, parents' rights as we know them are gone.
The government has overstepped its bounds if they're trying to tell parents how they can and can't raise their children.
Whether this threat is in your backyard or not, it will be.
And we're going to reap the rewards of this in the next generation, because they will not know what to believe. They will not know what's right and wrong, and they'll do whatever the state says, believe whatever the state says, and we will have lost this nation.
The main physician, who'd been really awful the whole time, he came into the room and he closed the door behind him and he said, "You will consent to these tests or I will take her."
You might as well arrest me now, because you are not going to tell me in the United States of America I cannot spank my child. He just told me to stand up and put my hands behind my back, and he arrested me in front of two of my sons.
And this really is where parents have to stand up and say, now, that's our responsibility. We want to keep it. We're going to keep it. We're not going to give it to anybody else, and we're not going to let anybody take it away from us. And that's what this amendment is all about.
For parents, the issue is you need to get involved. Because as you sit back, as Edmund Burke said, the only thing that's necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing, good people to do nothing.
Parents should be engaged in their rightful responsibility of raising their children.
This is not a political issue. This is not a Republican or Democrat, black or white. This is an issue for all of us.
Parents have a duty from God to care for their children, to provide for their children, and to rear their children, and to educate their children.
This is a family matter. It's a matter that affects families and children.
I think the people who wrote our Constitution, if they had a chance to speak about this now, would certainly be in favor of this particular amendment.
We all need to rise up and put these political affiliations aside and understand this is the greater good for our country, for our families, because if we lose our children, we lose our country, we lose our world.